The axon is the part of the neuron that carries information away from the cell body toward other cells.
The axon terminal branches are the knob-like structures at the end of an axon. The axon terminal branches are the parts of a neuron that sends messages to other neurons.
The dendrite is the neuron's busy, branching extensions that receive messages and conduct impulses toward the cell body.
The dendritic spines are a small protrusion from a neuron's dendrite that typically receives input from a single axon at the synapse. Dendritic spines serve as a storage site for the synaptic strength and help transmit electrical signals to the neuron's cell body.
The soma, or the cell body, is the part of the neuron that contains the nucleus.
The nucleus is the control center of the cell.
The myelin sheath is a layer of fatty tissue that insulates axons and increases the velocity of conduction of the action potential along the axon.
Neurotransmitters are the chemical substances that are stored in very tiny sacs within the terminal buttons and transmit information across the synaptic gap to the next neuron.
The nodes of Ranvier are small gaps in the myelin sheath of modulated axons.
A synapse is the place where two neurons meet, and a synaptic vessel is a vessel that contains neurotransmitters in the axon terminal of a neuron.
A presynaptic neuron is the neuron before the synapse. It is delivering the message across the synapse to the postsynaptic neuron. The postsynaptic neuron is the receiver of the neurotransmitter message.
The action potential is a brief wave of positive electrical charge that travels down the axon or the sequence of shifts in electrical charge of a neuron.
Depolarization is when an incoming impulse raises the neuron's voltage and opens the ion channels, causing potassium ions to flow out and sodium ions to flow in.
The resting potential is the resting state of a neuron when it is not transmitting information.
The all or none principle means that once the electrical impulse reaches a certain level of intensity, it fires and moves all the way down the axon without losing any of its intensity.
The reuptake is a process in which neurotransmitters are released from their receptor sites and reabsorbed into the terminal buttons of the sending neuron.